to the fruit, more bass than Bootsy Collins. You versus me, that's like Ali versus Foreman. God's act.
Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Tyler and welcome back to another Call of Duty gameplay commentary. And in today's video, I have a brand new life story for you all today, but before I get into that, I have a few things I want to mention. So starting off, I can't believe it's been an entire 5 days since I've actually uploaded on my channel. Like, I didn't even really realize because I've just been busy working so much lately. So I just wanted to start off by apologizing for not really posting because I've just been like super busy. But other than that, I wanted to mention that probably my next upload or the upload after my next is going to be a video you guys have been requesting for like a long time. I don't really want to say too much about it because I don't want to really spoil it for you guys or anything like that. I want it to be more of like a surprise when it happens. But just know it's something I've seen a lot of you guys ask in the comment section for me to do before, and don't worry, I hear you guys, and it's going to happen at some point very soon. But other than that, that's all the little hints I'm going to give you guys towards that video. So going into today's story, I'm going to be talking about the time that I got caught smoking weed by my principal at my boarding school. I've told a few stories about this boarding school, and one of them I told not too long ago. I think maybe 2 uploads back or something like that. But this takes place around the same time as that. So how this all came about happening was that it was just really like a normal afternoon, one of my days off from school at the time, and I might have actually been like in the middle of the summer, so I just didn't even have school at all at that point. Because for the few months that I was at that school, it was all really just like one big blur into my life. Like, I don't really try and remember it that much because I didn't enjoy my time there, like I said in videos before. So my teacher, my like dorm leader, as I've described him before, so him and I were just hanging out in the afternoon, just kicking it in the backyard of the dorm house, just smoking this little joint. And so we were sitting here passing it back and forth, you know, and that's not even really like the main focus of the story because we only really smoked like half of that joint. And it's not really like the time of smoking where I ended up getting caught by my principal, but it does play an important role to the story, so hear me out. So my dorm leader and I ended up putting this joint out about halfway through finishing it, so it wasn't even close to being done yet. We ended up going inside and just like hanging out for a little bit and whatever. And while I was at the boarding school, I ended up having like an opportunity to kind of work and make some money while I was there, doing just some sort of like odd jobs, cleaning up buildings and things like that, you know, just like minor work. And I'd always be doing them either with my dorm leader or like the principal of the school. So this particular afternoon, I ended up having to go clean this like old abandoned mall that was in the downtown area of the city. Him and I had to go down there and just like, we were supposed to basically be sweeping up a bunch of dirt and like things like that and peeling out some stuff from the wall. And it wasn't like a ton of work, it didn't take very long, but we ended up making like a pretty decent amount of money from it. But on this particular day, I ended up having to work that afternoon with the principal of my school. So I made the decision that I was gonna smoke some more weed by myself without my dorm leader before I went to go to this like little work thing I had to do with my principal. So I told my dorm leader that I was gonna go outside and just like hang out around outside, play some basketball and things like that, just so that I would have an opportunity to get out there and like walk around to the back door and grab this half-smoked joint that we had left out there on the back porch. So I ended up walking around to the back of the porch and then grabbing this joint and then running back over onto like the front half of the house that we were in, or the dorm house. And to the side of the driveway for the dorm house, there was kind of like this big abandoned trailer. I mean, it wasn't really abandoned because it was the school's like owners or the principal of the schools, but he didn't know where the key was for the padlock that was on it, so we weren't able to like ever get in it or anything, so it was pretty much abandoned. So I ended up walking around on the side of the driveway over to that thing and just standing behind that and finishing up smoking this like half-smoked joint that I had. And so literally like just a second after I had ended up putting it out and was just walking out from behind the trailer, I ended up seeing the principal's car pulling up into the driveway. So I kind of panicked a little bit and then ended up just taking a deep breath and just thinking in my mind like, I'm just gonna play it cool, everything will be alright, it's no big deal, you know, he won't notice anything, I'm outside, I won't smell, it's fine. And so my principal ends up like pulling into the driveway and parking right in front of me. And so when he pulled up in the driveway in front of me, he ended up rolling down the window and telling me to go tell my dorm leader that I was leaving to go to work with him for the afternoon. And so me just trying to be quick and like hurry up and get there and try and get over the whole situation really quick, I wasn't really thinking, so I ended up running over just to the door, quick peeking into the screen door, and I pretty much just ended up yelling in there to my dorm leader, telling him that I was leaving to go to work for the afternoon with my principal. And so immediately I run straight from the front porch right back into the driveway and jump into the passenger seat with my principal in there with me. And so my principal and I are sitting here backing out of the driveway, and he ends up telling me, he goes, "Do you smell that?" And I just ask him, I said, "Do I smell what?" And he just looks over to me and he goes, "Have you been smoking any weed today?" And so immediately I look over at him and I go, no, I haven't smoked any weed, like what are you talking about? And then he just looks over at me and he goes, "Are you sure you want to say that right now? Because I can smell it pretty clearly in the car and I think it's coming right from you." And immediately when he said that, I just kind of panicked, like my heart started beating really quickly, and I was just like super spooked out. And so my principal ended up giving me two choices. He said I could either take a drug test and see if I pass or fail it, or I could not take the drug test, and he was just going to assume that I was stoned right there and that I would have to call my mom and my dad and then my grandpa, I think. I don't know, I remember they made me end up calling like a few of my extended family, and it was just kind of weird. So I just decided that I was just gonna say that, like, fuck it, you know what, I am high, and I ended up admitting it because there was no way that I knew 100% no way I was going to pass any sort of drug test, because I had smoked a bunch of weed before I ended up going to this boarding school, and I smoked a bunch of weed while I was already at this boarding school, so like there was no fucking way possible that I was going to pass a drug test. And so he ended up not letting me go to work that day because I was high. He said I couldn't work at all, so I had to just sit home with my dorm leader. And when he ended up getting back from doing work that afternoon, he came down to the dorm house with me, and I pretty much had to end up calling my mom and my stepdad and I think my grandpa and one other person and just tell them all that I got caught smoking weed and that I was smoking weed still. Basically just a whole bunch of stupid shit, and I had to just get lectured by him and my entire family. It was just really fucking annoying and pointless. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I think it was probably a little bit of a longer story than I usually have been doing, so hopefully you guys enjoy these longer videos on my channel, because if you guys do, I might start doing them a little bit more often. I mean, I could just be an idiot and have like a shit ton to edit here, but looking at the timestamp right now, I have 20 minutes of fucking audio recording of just talking and shit, so I might have to edit like either a ton or just a little bit and have a really long video. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but if you guys like the longer videos, let me know down below in the comment section. I'll do some more of them if you guys want to see them longer, or if you guys want to see them shorter, let me know. Who knows? I don't know. I've never really asked that on my channel, so let me know if you guys like the long videos or the short videos, and I can do either one. But anyways, you guys know I love each and every one of you. Thanks again so much for watching today's video or life story, and if you guys enjoyed it at any point, please be sure to let me know by leaving a like down below, and let me know in the comment section whether or not you want shorter or longer videos. I can do either one of them. But anyways, I'm out. Peace.
I got more keys than Alicia. These niggas be talking police. 12. I took your hoe then released her. I used to trap out a Regal. 200,000 on my wrist. I thought it all was a fantasy. 200,000 on my wrist. Lord, I hope it don't vanish. 200,000 on my wrist.